It is really a miracle that what we have gone through the past few days, we have been able to restore democracy in this country with a minimum of casualties. And it is so important that Mr. Marcos stay out of the country now so that we Filipinos can work for national reconciliation, which is so essential in rebuilding our country.
Any plans to file charges against any of his former military commanders?
Well, I did form a commission on good government to be headed by former Senator Jovito Salonga, and they will be studying many of these cases, and specifically what they will set out to do is try to recover the hidden wealth of the Marcoses and their cronies.
Well, what about these stories that President Marcos illegally took out of the country millions of dollars, and that some of his cronies are even now trying to take money out of the country?
Well, if this is indeed true, then we will try our very best to recover this. And even now, we are discovering some of the money that they left behind.
Mrs. Aquino, is this a bittersweet time for you? Bittersweet in the sense that you had so much wanted your husband to be president of the Philippines, and you had helped him and worked toward that end for such a long time?
I do not think of it that way, Dan. Long ago, I have accepted that it was indeed necessary for my husband to make the sacrifice of his life, because before his assassination, very few Filipinos were committed or were involved in the struggle to restore rights and freedoms. And it needed my husband's sacrifice to awake millions of Filipinos and make them committed to our fight to restore democracy.
And are you confident, Mrs. Aquino, that you as President of the Philippines can exert absolute civilian control over the military?
Well, yes, because even Minister Enrile and General Ramos have pledged their support to me. And in fact, they were very grateful to all the civilians who defended them during those critical 3 days when the Marcos loyalists had gone out in their tanks hoping to fight and to conquer Minister Enrile and General Ramos.
Mrs. Aquino, when the euphoria wears off, and you still, the whole country seems to be in the best kind of euphoria, the smiling revolution it's been called on our air. Once the celebrating is over and the hard business of governing begins, does the Philippines face too many problems all at once to make this last?
Well, I have asked the people that inasmuch as they were willing to tolerate Mr. Marcos for 20 years, and in fact, they suffered so many hardships under Mr. Marcos, I am hoping that it has really been only 48 hours since I have taken over, that they will give me the chance to prove that I can indeed lead them back to not only economic recovery, but to stability, political stability.
President Corazon Aquino of the Philippines with Dan Rather.
Enjoy KSL Radio's Maury Carlson.
Cheer up, Mark. It can't be all that bad.
Oh, sure, Maury. I'm the one who gets tackled by the BYU football team.
True.
I'm the one who gets struck by lightning.
True.
You get to play good music.
True.
Maury, they're out to get me.
Is either of you Mark Van Wagner?
He's Mark.
Your afternoon is smoother with Maury Carlson and the afternoon team on 1160 KSL, the news authority.
Hi, I'm Mark Van Wagner. It's no secret how much I love scouting. So I'm proud to announce that KSL Radio and Television are presenting the 1986 Scoutorama, March 22nd in the Salt Palace. All areas of scouting will be showcased. It's interesting, action-packed, and fun. If you have a scout in your family, future, present, or past, Come see what we're up to in 1986. When a Scout knocks on your door, buy a ticket. $2 admits the whole family.
I am the Pirate King! I am the Pirate King! Oh, I'm sorry. I sail the seas and wield my lance in the Pirates of Penzance. I do my deeds some dastardly and neatly dodge catastrophe. Come see the Pirates of Penzance. Do hurry while you have the chance. This new version's even greater at Pioneer Memorial Theater. It is a glorious thing, to be a Pirate King!
Whether you call them postage stamp, watch fob, or vest pocket, the smallest nations of the continent will be spotlighted by the University Travel Club in Kingsbury Hall Wednesday, March 10th at 8 p.m. with Frank M. Clecar's film Europe's Teacup Countries. Countries to be covered include Andorra, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, San Marino, and the Vatican. According to Mr. Clecar, each country has a personality all its own, and his aim is to make those differences clear in his 2-hour film. That's Wednesday, March 10th at 8 p.m. For ticket information, call 581-7100.
When a farm fails, it's not just the people working the land who suffer. CBS News correspondent Bob McNamara looks at one rural community in crisis.
In the heart of corn and cattle country, Odebolt, Iowa, is one more farm town fighting for survival.
If agriculture doesn't catch, if the businessman downtown doesn't catch, there's going to be nothing but a gas station and a grain elevator between Sioux City and Cedar Rapids.
A bank failure last year, 2 farm implement dealers closing, a drugstore, a clothing store, and 2 restaurants gone too. The sour farm economy hit Odebolt like an epidemic.
The big thing is the depression. People start staying away.
We had 2 big implement dealers here, and when the farmers are no longer buying implements, well, they don't come to town for that. They don't come to town for the groceries either.
About 40 farmers around Odebolt went bankrupt last year, and dozens of others are still in business only on the thinnest financial ice.
I'm afraid we're going to have to look at more going out. I think 86 will be every bit as severe, if not more severe, than 85.
In support groups now, clergymen detect deepening fears that something basic to small towns is threatened for the first time.
The rural way of life, neighbor looking after neighbor type of thing. We're not real sure how much longer that's going to last.
Okay, down there to item number 5, committee.
For a year, Odebolt's Growth Commission has tried finding new business, more jobs. But there's a familiar response by companies invited here.
They're dragging their feet basically because of the farm economy.
It may be that unconventional wisdom is what keeps the town alive.
Go find a company that employs 50 or 100 people, that's doing well, making a profit, buy the damn thing, excuse me, girls, and move it to Odebolt. Wouldn't that be simple? Huh? What's so bad about that?
On Friday nights in small Iowa farm towns, they still play for keeps in the high school gyms. But now there's another level of competition for bigger stakes. It's downtown, one town against another, for business and jobs and a future. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Odebolt, Iowa.
Looking at sports Thursday night, in the NBA, Jeff Malone scored 33 points to lead the Washington Bullets past the Golden State Warriors 114-102. In other games, the Rockets down the Nuggets to snap Denver's 6-game winning streak. The Jazz blew out the Pacers, and the Supersonics outscored the Trailblazers. In the National Hockey League, Bob Carpenter's third-period goal lifted the Washington Capitals to a 2-1 victory over the Boston Bruins. Elsewhere, 4 assists by Reijo Ruotsalainen propelled the Rangers past the Penguins. The Flames skated past the Flyers, and the Blackhawks defeated the Kings. In college basketball, 4th-ranked Georgia Tech scored the game's final 12 points to beat number 18 North Carolina State 69-57. In other action, 5th-ranked Kentucky snapped a 7-year losing streak in Knoxville by beating Tennessee. And Baskerville Holmes scored 17 points to lead number 7 Memphis State past New Orleans. 11th-ranked Bradley bombed Indiana State, and number 17 Michigan State beat Northwestern. 20th-ranked Purdue was upset by Illinois, and number 16 Indiana overwhelmed Minnesota.